Hello dear students, welcome to another video on Polity Today. Today we will have a brief discussion on the topic suspendability of the fundamental rights. We have already discussed the 6 fundamental rights in details in my previous video, and today we will see the grounds on which the fundamental rights can be suspended. So let's start. What is the suspension of fundamental rights? First we will see it is the temporary restriction or limitation of certain individual rights and freedoms which are guaranteed by the constitution to the citizens of India, and it is often done by the government, and it can be done during some exceptional situation. And what are the situations? It can be during the national emergency, or the war time, or severe public crisis is there. Then at that time the fundamental rights can be suspended by the government for a particular time period. International agreements like the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights (ICCPR) is there to provide a framework for the protection of the fundamental rights for the citizens. And when the president proclaims a national emergency under the Article 352 on grounds of war or any external aggregation, the rights guaranteed by the Article 19 are automatically suspended. And what is the right guaranteed in Article 19? It is the right to freedom. So the right to freedom is automatically gets suspended during the national emergency or external aggregation, or the ground of war. By the 44th Amendment Act in 1978, the suspension of Article 20 and 21, that is the right against the detention and the right to life and personal liberty, has been prohibited under any circumstances. So under any circumstances or any situations, the government cannot restrict or prohibit the Article 20 and 21 to the citizens, and it is guaranteed in 44th Amendment Act in 1978. Then we will see some examples of the suspended rights. First, we will see the suspension of the freedom of movement. The right is often restricted or suspended during the situations like lockdowns during any pandemic. When a pandemic situation happens in the country and government has declared the lockdowns, then no one can move as per their wish here and there, and the freedom of movement of that person gets suspended automatically during the lockdown periods. We have already faced this type of situations few years back, and the freedom of movement can be suspended during the lockdown periods. Then the freedom of assembly and speech. These rights can be limited to prevent the violence or incitements, especially during the period of public unrest. If any public unrest is there inside the country, then the public gathering can be prohibited by the government to restrict, to prevent any violence inside the country. Then the right to privacy. During a security crisis, if there is a question of national security, the privacy rights of the citizens can be reduced, and the rights of the authorities can be enhanced, and it can allow the authorities for greater surveillance power inside the country, and if any question of national security is there. So the right to privacy is hampered during the security crisis inside the country. Any restriction should respect human dignity in the country, and it is a subject of review, and it should be lifted as soon as the crisis is resolved. So always this suspension of the rights is for a temporary time period, and it should not hamper the human dignity in the country. So this is all about the suspendability of the fundamental rights. We will discuss fundamental duties of the citizens in my next video. This is all for today. Thank you.